During this time, separation of energy, energetic frequencies is a very clear sign. Is especially highly connected light worker like myself. There is no confusion at this point. We always have awareness, although it was very limited dialogue. Never have the confidence to ever speak about, although it never stopped us from trying to guide people towards the maximum comfort, to follow maximum comfort from the most authentic place, and trying to um, make sense out of this spiritual information warfare. The black sheeps, the light workers, will do that. We had some guidance towards right directions, um, and everyone else probably experienced the same thing. So we um, especially humanity is highly programmed, highly manipulated. Information sabotaged is something that we experience from the beginning of time. Obvious signs of this level of sabotage is pretty clear evidence if you are tapping into any kind of history or mainstream dialogue. Adding to confusion is something, especially last few years, we have spoken about the, not me, but I hear a lot of people are highly confident about speaking reptiles, vampires, energy vampires, the dark masters, the dark side, blood-sucking vampires. These are conversations that's happening in parallel to mainstream follow the science model. Uh, so uh, having to have these kind of discussions with everyday people is a really daunting task. It's going to completely shun you from having any kind of seriousness into these kind of topics, and you're just labeled crazy out there, which is really fine. It's not something new to us black sheeps, and we are not making any sense. We are ranting and raving, and now speaking about reptile, you just lose it, and it's a really daunting task. Although personally, I have a very clear recognition and clarity about these kind of dialogue. Uh, Either I'm going to be suck at delivering this, or I'm going to make sense, or just be crazy. But either way, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to stop me trying to do my best. Because I know some of the few peoples in your personal life also watching these, and I think it's really easier for us to have this discussion in a public forum than having private conversation. So there is a little bit of accountability this way. So we'll try to navigate these reptiles and these blood-sucking vampires. What is this all about? The separation of energetic frequencies is a pretty obvious thing. So if you're really highly connected to the source, if you have awareness, if you have done some healing, these energetic vibrational frequencies, what is exactly mean to dive in, dig in bit deep with the perspective, become a lot easier. Everything happens with our thoughts, really. So when you hear somebody saying a reptile, because we are such a visual creatures, we are in the mainstream, we're following science, although we don't know what kind of science. It could be science to manipulate, science to gaslight science to distract science of information sabotage. We don't know. We just follow science. It makes sense, and it's much simpler to digest. So while this is happening, uh, the reptilians and these hostile frequencies is there. Easiest way for me to explain this, when we know we have electricity, we have a lamp, you have lights, there is a whole different setup happening in a place where extreme transformation of energy. There is a business model. There is a place with a lot of transformers and place that we have no access, but we have electricity get delivered us because we have outlets, we have connection, we actually started the connection. So therefore we have a clean system to get this energy delivered to your personal household, anywhere in between. There's a connection, but before delivered, there is a huge establishment there managing all of these things, setup. So our human consciousness experiences is something very similar. We have the source god and we have the dark master, which is a sub entities. It's not the source god. So there is seem like I think the people who read like ancient text have a better way of explaining, but I had to try my own method. So when you have this dark master and the source god, there's a very clear contrast. So what happened with the dark master, the reptilians and the vampires, the blood-sucking vampire frequencies, they're very clear of their mission, because they have uh, understood the mission, and they're very clear acting on it. And it seemed like it's got a stronghold with the divine frequencies. It's all about love and joy. It's not something so rigid. It's open for kindness. It's not like concrete cement. Here is a source god. Source god is not something so harsh. It's open. When you're empathy, this is why you are feeling things. As for the a dark master, they don't need to feel anything. You're just clash. They are going to take their stand. This is why the black sheeps and the empathic souls always run into a lot of problems, because it's not they're weakened. They have a clarity about the mission. They know they are connected to the source, but they aren't hardened by the experiences. So therefore there is a lot of openness for the light get delivered, not so rigid manner. It's lively. It's not it's lively. It's open. It's comfort. It's open for dialogue, is open for fairness, open for forgiveness, open for joy, open for laughter, open for recognizing what somebody else is going through, and most importantly is open to see things from another person's perspective, whether they are working for the dark master, their energy, because the energetic separation is very clear. We have now human species are all over the places: Southeast Asia, the north and west and east, everywhere. So human species are everywhere, but the whole system that is set up is really easy to navigate when you have a connection to the source, uh, meaning you kind of recognize your energetic vibrational frequencies. You know the power of your being, and you have integrity. uh, you're maintaining your vessel by using integrity, fairness, kindness, and compassion. You're really not harsh, critical judgment in your personal life. So this is how we navigate these energetic frequencies better. So hopefully it's making sense. But it's going to make sense to me now that I put this out in the open. Um, so when you say reptiles, people get so confused. What happened? Is there reptiles in Southeast Asia? Is reptiles in the West? Is it reptiles in G7? We don't know, because we are saying these things because we are visual creatures. We like to go. We like to see where is these reptiles. Although it's an energetic frequency, it's uh, they're not going to show up looking like an alligator and trying to speak to you on mainstream. So that's not really making sense. So therefore, we are going to shut down to these conspiracy theorists for good, and doesn't really have the ability to connect dots here. Although we will go watch the vampire movies for hours, we see them one, two, three, four. We get really entertained by these things, but what we're really not recognizing is that these thoughts, these creative outlets, these happen somewhere, even with a program, with a system, with a written books. Somehow this information got a hold of these creators. They are calling them directors and all these people, but nevertheless they have agents that's directing you these things, and we get entertained. Perhaps this is a really good place for you to expand your ideas and see things as exactly they are. The information is never waste. Information helps you to navigate. This is how we master ourselves, and making that strongest connection to the source, because we're paying attention to information warfare, spiritual warfare in this school of life. So now, thinking about my childhood, is not a pity party, right? Because we need to have to be able to navigate information. You can't just wake up one day and say, wow, I am the most evolved person there is, and here you go. It happens gradually, because you're learning to recognize energies. In my very early life experience, we had this bridezilla came into our family, where I stayed with my extended family, the older brother. So they're very, it's a cultural component too. They're very charming, we're soft spoken agents, but the moment they come into your life, now you see, wow, oh, the land, they're not they don't have any lack either, but they're joining this new family. They're bringing these energies. Now they are individual, they're coming into life. Now you see the energies shifting with the other siblings, and it was a very big property. There's a big house, a smaller house. Everybody just scoot over to the smaller place and somehow cohabited. But the moment when this bridezilla come in, you see that energy shifting. Now she wants to manage the spending and paying attention to the finances, because this one individual, sort of the elders in the family, they got a store kind of thing, and the land and everything. So she wants to pay attention to all of these things. But what really happened is, though, it's fine, it's completely fine to process this information, but there is a division and separation happening in the family. She now the in charge of this household, these businesses, um, very antisocial, and people are like scared. They aren't really laughing when they're around. You see the energies of people changing. The comfort is gone. You had to behave in a manner, you sort of fix yourself up and go and around the back kind of thing, the workers. uh, this is the first time you recognize the separation of energy. And the point I am trying to make is, all we hear in life, the ordinary people, oh yeah, I want to be a good person and like manage my life better, have a nice little garden and cooking your food and living life in such a humble manner. But system isn't designed for that. It's designed to um, challenge your strength, challenge your connection to the source or the dark master. It's continuously working towards the mastering where you stand. So this is why the reptilian energies are so important for us to recognize, and everything else in between, the vampires, the blood-sucking vampires that who cannot exist without the fear-based existence within the human consciousness. So this is how we learn to perfect that connection. Mind you, going back to that childhood experience, I find these other siblings, they are extremely gentle, very humble, never want to upset anyone deliberately. They never like any kind of confrontation with anyone. Have extremely kind, gentle, diplomatic existence, which is all fine. So therefore they know their place. Okay, so we're outsiders now, we're dealing business dealings with our sibling, but that's completely a separate task. We mustn't upset the this ecosystem. This is their way of looking at it. As from their point of view, they never make that effort. Hey, I come into this family with these siblings. They are really sweet. I want to get to know them. Let's host a dinner in my house now. Let's make them feel important, because they're important to me, because they are the siblings. It never happened from their part, although that's the logical, practical things. If you have a family function in this big house, it's absolutely magical. But this separation amongst these people happens. The humble, kind people, although they are the same on the surface, there is that's an outlet for a dark master, because it's challenging now this humble, easygoing existence. So this is how I learned to, even I had to, she said immediately, well, she's got to go with her real family now. We're extended family, that's fine. Go with, yeah, so that was a completely different story. But the division happened like this. Then you go into the second family, which is my immediate family. There's another bridezilla, extremely toxic, energetic vampire there. So I get to experience these things from completely different contrasts. They are extremely kind, gentle individuals. This happening far east, but nevertheless, these energetic outlets are there. We need to learn to observe them and recognize what the division is all about. So with this person happened, also my family member, they are prone to alcohol, and it's like they're feeding off of each other. It's never peace. One start, another one And it's not lack of resources, right? It's a nice job. The resources are there to live very comfortably, but nevertheless, the toxic existence is very prominent. And I, as a black sheep, the light worker, I get to experience this firsthand. What I've noticed, the lack of connection when you look into their eyes, um, the and the if you look into your family dog or a cat, they have a lot more expressions, a lot more emotions in their looks than these people. When you catch them in a moments where they are so angry or having these outbursts, there's nothing there, but they are functioning daily life. They go to work, they dress nicely, they are soft spoken, they know how to garden, they know how to do things. uh, it's never lack of things to appreciate, but just like the light worker, a light connection to the source, there's a parallel, there's a dark masters agents working. It's all for our benefit, right? If we don't know the contrast, if we don't know the currency, um, this is where we run into problem. But when you have extreme clarity about energetic separation, this is where we be able to recognize, oh right, this is energetic vampire, this is what the reptilians energies are looking like. So when somebody says, well, yeah, I used to marry to a reptile, or I know reptile, we see them at work, they're not going to look at you like, wow, what the hell are you smoking? So this is the kind of clarity we are experiencing now in real time, in real life, the separation of energies. Now that's the different. In the past, you recognize these energies. Now you're here in the real world. Now in a different country, you see the you get to experience that humbleness, like in your high school. Everything seems so perfect and a very easy existence there. Everyone seemed to be polite and kind and welcoming. That was a really good experience. It's like you have a second chance to nurture your inner child and uh, trying to figure out what the hell really happened. What is this black sheep stuff is all about? What is this light worker is all about? What is this spirituality is all about? So you have time and space to navigate within the kind of depth that nature really intended for you to discover about yourself. So this is a chapter. At workplace, it's the same thing. At the beginning, it's a pretty easy go. You're loving people. You're happy to have this gig and healthcare. You get to experience all kinds of things because now you're in a journey to put things in perspective, and you have to learn to heal yourself. While you're doing that, without even noticing, you get sucked right in very deeply. This is why because the we are so disciplined about things, there is a softness there, there is a empathy there, but you learn to internalize all your emotional life because things aren't making sense now. Transforming the managements and constantly changing things become extremely difficult, and you're like, wow, this is really unnecessary. It was perfectly running system, but then agents coming, outlets coming, completely changing things, becoming hard. Now blood-sucking vampire energy frequency or reptile frequencies are creeping in because it's so these people are really charming and they are really master manipulators, and they're really good and luring people in without the charm, without the perfection in their part. Not knowing their mission is difficult task to do, but the difference between God frequencies and these energetic vampires and the reptilian energies, they are hard to detect, and they are very hard to refuse, because a certain level of self respect, boundaries have to be established. In order for you to do that, you really have to know how to heal some of the parts that you internalize, whether it's ancestral trauma body or inner child conflict, not having that space for nurturing on the surface from the people that supposed to nurture you, but always the key word there is a source, energetic source, a higher, most supreme energetic source there, and you are feeling enormous love, support, and guidance from these unknown source. Make life so much easier now. Once you establish this level of strong connection, life seems much easier, because all the hurtful things that happen to you, or manipulation, gaslighting, it's just isolation, all of these things become so um, effortless to deal with, because you're no longer involved with the experiencing. You're focusing on the lessons, and this is something that you have to have a reflection firsthand. This is why these things are happening. This is why it's necessary, so that we can transform that a pureness, transform into a purity of our human consciousness, elevate into a higher level of frequency, maybe. Here now, you see the people, for example, going to a doctor. You get to see these outlets, these agents that never happy. But when I say never, it's not 100%. There's always the odd number. You get shocked when you see these nice people, because you're like, wow, they have done some work. You feel that vibration when you interact with them, but it's not often. So we can't really judge every job, every culture, every politician, everything. There is that odd number. There is an exception to the norm. But when we're speaking about these such a general topics, you have to generalize what's the majority, the energies of majority of uh, uh, agents. So if you go there, you're seeing these contemptuous, angry, snippy, and it's not a very pleasant place to go, because these are energetic vampires, gatekeepers, right? They haven't done any healing, haven't done any inner reflection. So just doers. They are doing something, no question. It's a job. We're going every day, maybe 10 years, 20 years. They have grown into these gatekeeping positions. So going to see these individuals in a professional capacity, you have to, the key word is you have to be really sick, and going there is like putting needles in your eyeballs. It's such an unpleasant experience. Mind you, when you go, that's the gatekeepers. Once you get through that, the professional person meeting you there, the healthcare professionals at any level, they could be very nice, and you could have a really nice rapport with them. So in our part, what are we going to do? We're like, remember, the key word is we're in a separation of energy. So we're not going to jump up and down and climb the wall and say, well, this person is so mean spirited and so wrong, we shouldn't. We're not going to do that, because we have awareness. This is the This is the cost of perpetuating these personas without putting much thought into it, because it's a requirement of employment. Uh, we we are going to have an open discussion about what exactly the big picture. You have to be that. This is the clear example of energetic separation in real time, in real life. You get to experience. In order for you to go there, you have to be really sickly. So if a healthcare provider is much nicer, sure, they can also be there are people who've done some work and using their authority and the privileged position to make a real changes. But that's a small number. The majority of them, uh, they are very charming, they're very studious, they're very uh, maybe very intelligent, of course, but there is a level of consumption happening because the healing takes a back seat now. The promoting agenda is what's really happening. In order for them to be that, you have to be really charming, professional, and taken seriously. So they maintain this level of professional outlet so clearly. And but the someone, a black sheep who done some work and done some healing, you know that you have power to heal yourself. You're still work in progress, but you still recognize the big picture. Now, in order for us to see people in such contrast, human beings have to be extremely sick and hopeless, and so therefore we are reaching out for help. And from their part, they're very clear about their position. They know what needs to be done. So the fishing happens and you get consumed. So this is the difference between reptilian and connected to the source individuals. Now, is everyone who you run into in the outside world is a reptile? No, we are not making that judgment. We are recognizing the energetic frequencies. If your alignment with promoting agenda, whether it's it could even happen in the food place, but every level, like at the electricity, there are outlets and there are agents, and they operate in a different level. So this thing happened gradually all the way to the top. So-called royal, so-called elite, so-called reptiles. uh, it's a multi-layer of energetic frequencies separation. You can't just be, oh, I'm a reptile, I'm in a elite now. So if that happens, it's so clear, then everyone's like, okay, well, we know they're reptile. But electricity doesn't happen that way, right? You have a multi layers of um, setups there. So the gatekeeping happens. So every time in every job, there are gatekeepers. These are the most unpleasant. You can have a superintendent. Like, you never know. Like, the mean spirited, snooty things. So, but we're not going to be climbing the wall and jump up and down and put these people in their spot, because it's not a good customer service. We recognize the a bigger problem. In order for you to maintain this level of persona, you have to be that cantankerous, mean-spirited, disconnected, disinterested on helping, just following orders. This is how gradual these energetic separation is all about. So we see in some families, you see one agent is like, you will never hear anything good. They could be paying rent for like 10-15 years. It doesn't really matter. All the horrible things they do is only see the worst in people. because they are like cement. There is no compassion. There's no outlet to go in. They're like very rigid. It's concrete division. Once you pour concrete into something, there's no space for compassion or, oh well, I'm just going to think about different perspectives. If that was the case, no one would ever hurt anyone. The abuse of human beings, animals, uh, happening parallel continuously. That's because the energetic separation is there. The people who are doing all the mean spirited things, hurting other people, hurting other animals, hurting your family members, and can't have a proper family because we haven't done any work. So this should be another show, but we haven't opened. There's no holes to get in. Like you see, when you want to sleep, when you're in school, you want to black out your window because you don't want any light to get in. It's like that. When you close minded, there's no space for light or information to get in. If we are NPCs, if we're extremely low vibrational, uh, our persona, our energetic frequencies have hardened itself. So therefore, the light can't go in. So that's the difference between someone or individuals who are connected to the source and someone who is connected to the dark master. These the frequency layers for dark master comes very effortlessly, and because they are very clear about their mission, with the staying connected to the source and being the agents for source, is layers. They are the empathic souls. They're like a sponge. They are not so rigid. So this is why they're not so hardened by the experiences. This is why there is a room for these vampires to latch on, because self-discipline and mastery of energy, the boundaries have to happen in an energetic level. This is how every time when I said enough is enough, I'm not going to tolerate this kind of self-respect. Okay, sure, I have nothing, whatever, but I'm not going to prevent that for being prevent prevent me from speaking up, acting up accordingly. Therefore, I am done. So I have a hard time verbal dialogue, but I never had problem energetic rejection and creating these energetic boundaries. So and then it becomes so much easier and effortless to cut things off when it's no longer necessary. It serves its purpose, learn lessons, so we're not going through life hating everything, hating the people who ever done wrong to you, hating all the discomfort, hating all the triggers. We see things as exactly they are. We recognize the energetic agents from source and the dark master. So therefore we see the bigger picture. We make energetic separation. This is how you really become strong and have that strong alignment with the source energy and have that clear connection, that life becomes so effortless because you're remembering something. So this is where I stand. Hopefully it makes sense. So when somebody say that is reptiles and vampires and energy sucking vampires, so you really don't, because in parallel, the mainstream dialogue following science and conspiracy theories speaking about reptiles. So we're not going to be shocked and say, wow, she's really crazy, he's really crazy. We're really start thinking about uh, energetic navigation, what is really mean. You don't see any crocodiles running around and trying to manipulate people and but there are people who want to depopulate you, to program you, to hijack you with AI. So it's all about taking your power away, while they are making much, they are creating much more strength with a low vibrational existence. So once you have this clarity about what exactly these energetic frequencies and how we recognize, by healing ourselves, becoming alignment with the source God, uh, you're creating that life, heaven on earth. This is where we're heading. So let's see. Thank you.